Good morning, Raptor freaks. Alexiot's here. It is Wednesday, and we're playing the Utah Jazz on our West Coast trip. This is the fifth game of our 7 game road trip, and we're 2-2. So let's break that 2-2 with a win over the Jazz. The Jazz are very interesting right now. They've got a lot of interesting players from a Cleveland trade and also a Minnesota trade that they got they got Larry Markkinen, who's actually like their best player right now. He's their leading scorer. He's a big problem in some ways because what they're doing, this is what Utah did in the last game that they found out works really well. They played Dallas without Luka Doncic and they beat them. And in some ways that's not really a big deal. Dallas is not very good without Luka Doncic. So, I wasn't that impressed with that win. But what they did in that game was they started 3 7-footers up front. They start Kessler, Markkinen, and Olenek together. And this could be an issue playing against us, considering we've had problems with tall people against our lineup. Well, they're starting 3 centers. Ooh, I don't know. In some ways, it can be an advantage, sure. But in some ways, it can also be a disadvantage. I don't know. We'll have to see. Maybe these guys could be slow in some way. I mean, Kelly Olynyk's getting up there. You're going to have 3 of these 7-foot guys out there running around on your team. We got to figure out how to beat them with just a slightly smaller, quicker, maybe more athletic, more talented people like Scottie and Precious and Pascal. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be an interesting matchup. They really are focused around Larry Markkinen, but they do have other players that are dangerous, like Mike Conley. Colin Sexton comes off the bench for them right now. Ooh, Utah's very weird, very interesting. Now we play them today in Utah, and then in 10 days, on the 10th, they come here and play us here. So we're seeing them pretty close together at this. So we'll see them tonight and then we're going to see them again like in a week or so from now. So yeah, it's Utah Jazz, baby. All right, let me see what you guys are saying in the comments this morning. Good to see so many people here already. Monique is first in this morning. Super fan Monique Lawrence. Good morning to you. It's game day. Let's go Raptors. That's right, game day. Good morning, everyone. Happy game day. Time to put the clamps down on Lori, etc. Stop the threes. Congratulations to our super sophomore and well-deserved reserves are tomorrow. Good to see the Bulls losing. Lots of stuff in there as usual with Monique, and I love it. Yeah, I want to see us do some good stuff with Laurie Markkinen. It'd be great if we had OG. He's a great player to have in this game. But we have Precious, we have Scottie, we have different people instead. We'll just have to figure it all out with the personnel we have available tonight. Yeah, and congratulations to Scottie Wayne Barnes, named to the Rising Stars team once again as a sophomore. He will be playing in the Clorox Rising Stars Challenge, and he is a representative of the Toronto Raptors in his second year. He's been asked to come, and that's an honor because these are like the best young players that get to come and play in this, and they want him to be involved in it, and that's great. Last season, Precious played in it also, but he was a sophomore. This year, he's a third year. He's not available to play in this game. But lots of great Canadian players also playing in this game. They've got Ben Mathurin in there and some other young Canadians. Leonard Miller from the G League is playing in this game also from Fort Erie. That's fantastic. That's pretty cool. One of the things I will say about the G League people that got voted in, the Cleveland Cavaliers fans kind of heavily weighed that bullshit. And Reggie Perry was actually online to be going to this game and be a part of this team. But then there was a surge in the voting by Cleveland fans for like 3 or 4 Cleveland players and their G League team. And they got all 3 of those guys on this G League All-Star team. It's kind of stupid. Like, I don't understand why you got to have so many Cleveland Charge players on the G League All-Star team. It really was just that those fans stuffed the ballot. and put all their own players on there, and to the detriment of Reggie Perry. Now, what I want to say about this is that Reggie didn't deserve it, actually, because he has not played well. He played well for a little while, but more recently, he's kind of not played well. And him falling out of making that game is partly because he didn't play well. Lots of turnovers and not shooting very well. So I understand why he didn't make it. So the Bulls lost again last night, and that is what it is. ESPN has the power rankings out this morning, new power rankings, and we've slipped again. We were ranked 23 in the last power rankings, and now we're 25. I hate this so much. We're like 25th out of 30, and it just pisses me off because it really isn't where we should be. A lot of these teams that they have ranked above us, I know we would beat them. They're not that freaking good. But because we're down and we aren't able to prove that we are good, they're going to put us at 25th out of 30. I hate that so much. They're saying Toronto has 3 more games left on its current road trip: Utah, Houston, and Memphis, before returning home to play San Antonio the night before the trade deadline. The Raptors remain the team others around the league are most curious to see what they do between now and the deadline, given the potential difference making players they could possibly move. That's Tim Bontemps. Oh, man, I hate seeing us so low in the power rankings. This is crazy. I don't think I've ever seen us so low in the ESPN power rankings ever before until right now. 25th. That is horrible. They'd always at least respect us and put us at 20th, but now we're 25th. Not that I really, really care about those power rankings, but in some ways I do. I do really care about them. Monique's also saying, good to see Pascal and Holland Blurview doing great work together at 905.2, a place very cool to my heart. If you guys didn't know, Scottie and Bitbuy ad through 905, new guys officially practicing now. Okay, Monique, give me some periods in there between your points. But yeah, I really like a lot of what you're saying here. The new guys are with the 905. I have pictures on my Instagram of these new guys. One of them looks really tall. I guess that's Hillman, Jeremiah. He looks like the taller center between the two new 905 players. And then there's Hollins. Hollins is looks like a guard. He looks a little bit smaller. But yeah, 2 new players for the 905 showing up at practice yesterday. There's some pictures of them on the Instagram if you want to check them out. And they will be in action tomorrow for the first time. The Raptors 905 are playing tomorrow, their first game in like a week. So be ready for that. Yeah, good to see Pascal's work with Holland Blurview. This must be old stuff that they recorded from before, because he didn't come back during the road trip and do the pictures for this. So I think they did this just before he left, and they're just releasing the pictures now or something. Yeah, and Scottie has a new ad campaign that he just came out with. It's Bitbuy. It's a crypto company. It's a company that Kyle Lowry used to represent also, and he's been in old commercials for this company. And it's funny because Kyle's in the commercial also, and Scottie is coming in and kind of replacing him. It's very weird. It's kind of goofy acting. The guy who's in the commercial regularly, he's real goofy. And I don't understand. Why is he coming to your house at Sunday morning like that and ringing on your doorbell? And you know it or you don't know it, but you're so excited. You're coming to the door. You're like, ooh, ooh. The guy's like, ooh. And the doorbell rings. He starts running towards the door. It's such a weird ad. It's very weird. It's very like uncomfortable in some ways, because he's like, he wants a hug from Scottie, and Scottie reluctantly hugs him. And then at one point he just relents and he puts his arms around him, and the guy's like, oh, this is so nice. I mean, I guess that's cool and everything, but I know Scottie wants a bag. That's just the thing from last summer. He's like, he kept talking about it. He's like, somebody needs to give me money because I need ad money. Well, Subway came along and gave him ad money bag pretty quickly, and he was really into that, I remember. But now he's got a crypto company that he's representing now. Yeah, you go, Scottie. You get your bags. You obviously had time to film this commercial out west while you were out there on the road trip. Probably filmed it in Arizona, probably somewhere around there, because they haven't been to LA. They're not going to California. It's not like he's going to stop and go to California and film it there. So I don't know. Interesting commercial though. New commercial with Scotty, new ad campaign. Some people are saying, "Oh, great, now he's in this." Listen, he recently came out in an interview and said exactly what he was saying last summer. He's like, he's poor, he's broke, he ain't got no money, and he's saying this no matter what because he's a cheapskate. No, I'm just seriously, but he'd be proud to say that he does not like spending money. This is why he took that shirt back after that function at the beginning of the year. He wore that nice black shirt. He said, "This is too much for a shirt. I'll wear it tonight, and then I'm bringing it back tomorrow and getting my money back." You know, he's just pinching pennies. It's just how this dude is. He's very smart with his money because he doesn't like to spend it at all. And he will tell his fans that he's broke to get more money off the subscriptions on Twitch. You go, Scotty. You're a hustler, and you do how you do it. Alistair saying, "Good morning. Nikola Derusit will be the next great European star." I'm guessing this is somebody coming up in this draft coming up, and this may be somebody that you want the Raptors to draft and maybe get on our team. Okay, I'm going to remember this name, and I'll remember that Alistair 49 was the first person who ever mentioned this name to me, and I will remember because it's the same name as a baby doll from wrestling, Nicola. Ah. All right, let's see. Monique is saying news and notes. Scotty Barnes BIPOC scholarship winners. Wow, 5 of them. I believe. Way to go, Scotty. This is huge. Forget to mention. Let's go Raptors. Always message to the bench. Be ready and stay ready. Okay, so they're showing pictures of the people who won the scholarships with he was doing the thing for the getting the trade school scholarships. This may be like the trade school scholarships. Yeah, okay, from what his ad campaign earlier this season. That's good stuff. Good job, Scotty. And yeah, talking about the bench. All right, listen. This is the thing about Utah. Let me go over the injuries real quick, and this way I can really kind of talk about their team real fast. Toronto has OG Anunoby. He is held out for the rest of this road trip because of his wrist that he fell on the other day. Now, there was a surprise moment by Nick Nurse when he heard that OG would not be able to play for the rest of this trip. He said that was weird to him, that he's already ruled out for this time, and that he thought maybe he'd be available before the end of this trip. I don't know, Nick. That doesn't make any sense. And also, the way you're kind of acting about it makes me think that, like, I don't know, there's something fishy about that. I think OG needs to be like have further like looked at. And maybe they should bring him right back home instead of just hanging around traveling the team throughout the rest of the trip. Because it seems like the plan is to have him just sit out with the thing on his wrist and get checked out when he comes back to Toronto after the games like next week. So it's weird. I mean, to me, it seems like why wouldn't you fly him back home right away and go ahead and get those tests done now instead of waiting till he travels through the whole road trip and then doing the test? I don't know. I don't know the medicalness about the situation for what's going on. But yeah, Nick was surprised when he heard that he wouldn't be playing for the rest of this trip. And there's a little bit of a red flag there because of that. But I won't read into it too much. It may be Nick just being unreasonable. The Utah Jazz have one injury, and it's a center named Micah Potter. That is the only guy that is injured for them. Their lineup looks like this. And I'll tell you this right now. The thing about Utah is that they're deep. They have very good talent, like very deep into their team. Like they have like top 12 guys are good, solid pros that have been around for the most part. Their starting lineup is Mike Conley, Jordan Clarkson at the guards, Laurie Markkinen at small forward, and he's 7 foot. And then you got Golnick at power forward, and Kessler, the rookie, is starting at center. And Kessler's been getting double doubles. He's very active and very productive for a rookie right now. And then off the bench, Colin Sexton is really their 6-man kind of like scorer off the bench. But they've got guys like Malik Beasley, Jared Vanderbilt, Okai Abaji, and then Rudy Gay is still there. Out of all the people that have moved and gone away from Utah in different ways, Rudy Gay has somehow survived and is still this grizzled old vet off their bench that is dangerous. In fact, last year when we went to Utah, he single-handedly won that game against us off the bench by just having a huge scoring explosion off the bench. So this Monique bringing up the bench makes me think, Rudy Gay, Colin Sexton. This is a tough bench. Not only that, you go even deeper, and they're not even playing guys like Nickel Alexander Walker, great Canadian player, cousin of Shai Gregarious Alexander. He is not even playing these days. They have so many guys on the Jazz right now that Nickel isn't even getting playing time. THT is on this team, and he is near the end of the bench too and doesn't get to play at all. I'm telling you, they got a lot of good players and they're deep. And it's annoying because they have a glut of good things with that, where we are very much not feeling depth on our team right now. So this is going to be a problem. And we're going to need a balanced attack with a lot of different guys contributing to make up for the roster depth of the Utah Jazz. They do have very good guys off their bench. And I don't like that. Alistair saying we will maximize our draft picks this year, a deep draft too. I'm sure we will. We better. If we're going to go through the agony of this crazy ass year, we better maximize our draft picks. I'll tell you right now, Messiah Ujiri. All right, Logical Raptors fanatics here. Mike, good to see you. I watched your latest drop from Saturday yesterday. Good stuff, Mike. Always enjoy an hour of listening to you talk about stuff with the Raptors. Very fun stuff. So check out Logical Raptors Fanatics YouTube channel. It's good content. Salute the Real Ones Project Truth always. Thank you, Mike. Positive Mike today. All right, let's hear Positive Mike. I like this. I don't think you're that negative very often, very much. I had to be a bit critical yesterday. I don't know if everyone got what I was saying, but I believe in Scottie's point guard still. He will be a great passer. That's definitely positive. And I have no problem with what you're saying. He is a great passer already. And, it's just really about, like I said, getting reps, getting more savvy as far as veteran, because you learned. You either learned the hard way because you fucked up, or you found out you're doing good and you continue to do that. But he just needs time. The difference between Fred's passing and his decision making is built on years of experience and knowing personnel on the court and kind of reacting to tendencies and what guys are likely to do. And Scottie just needs to learn more of that. He's learning about DeAndre Ayton these days, people like that, and having to play them. And, he'll probably play better defense on each center as he sees them again the next time. So, yeah, this will be interesting. And it's going to be real important for him to play big tonight. He's going to have to throw his weight around with these 7-footers, and they've really got to irritate them and stop them from making shots, because we don't want them to be like just easy putting in the basket because of their height advantage over us. So we got to watch out for the 7-foot front line that the Jazz are playing today. Yeah, it's going to be crazy. Jimmy's here. Jimmy Pope, the Pope of positivity, is in the house. Let's see what words of wisdom that Jimmy's got for us this morning. Morning, Raptor freaks. I find it funny that people are making such a big deal about receiving calls about OG. Lewinberg said that we've been taking calls, not just actively shopping our guys. Yeah, this is silly. Once again, make news out of stuff that isn't really news. Make news out of things that are like, all right, yeah, that's just business as usual. That's just how it is. It's always been this way. We've always been taking calls for OG. We've been taking calls for OG for a couple of years now. It's not that it's any different. We took calls for him last year. We took calls for him last summer when it seemed like things were going interesting way with Kevin Durant and his career. Yeah, this is nothing new, and it's kind of silly. Of course, they're going to bring this up. It's just like Chris Haynes report, some of the Raptors are unhappy. Well, these are just kind of like slow news stories. Okay, yeah, they should be unhappy. They're losing. And yeah, they have been receiving calls because a lot of people are interested in our players, as was put in the power rankings by Tim Bontemps. They're all worried about getting one of our players because they can help them get over the hump with their teams and make them just that much better to win a championship. So yeah, we're very, very sought after, and the phone is ringing for sure. Okay, Lewinberg, just tell us something we didn't know. The sky is blue, also. Okay, thank you. Logical Raptors fanatic saying, Pope, facts. Messiah is always willing to listen. Whether he hangs the phone up right after depends on the other offer. Yeah, and it may be that some of the teams are just joking with some of the stuff they're coming at him with. Like, you can't be serious. Okay, when you're serious, and maybe text the offer, and then we'll look at it. But we're not taking your calls until then. We're gonna have to see what you have, and you better come more correct next time, or we're not talking to you, particular NBA franchise. So come correct with your offers. Jimmy Pope saying, "Do you guys care more about picks or getting a really good player back? I'm a homer, rather not trade." Yeah, I think most of us on this that frequent this channel do not want trades or to move guys that we really like already on the team. So it's like, I don't know. It's a weird situation. In some ways, a good player back will help us more right now. But in some ways, we should be playing for the future. And maybe getting draft picks is the way to go too. I don't know. I'm not a big draft picks kind of guy. And in some ways, I'd like to get a very good vet right now that'll help us get over the hump in the way that I was just talking about, how we would help another team, sending somebody from us. Well, I'd like to get somebody that maybe could help us and make us more of buyers than sellers. So I don't know. It's such a weird situation we're in. I'm not used to being this team, the hot team for trading to get guys from to try and make the other teams better. And I don't like that. I don't like that position in some ways. I don't want to be this team. And then hopefully maybe Masai and Bobby are treating it like we're not that team and they're not going to do anything to help anybody try and get a championship by trading one of our guys. Let's go Raptors. That's right, Seymour and Pape. Let's grow Raptors. It's kind of the saying that we're saying this week. If we're going to lose and we're not going to win, we might as well grow Raptors and get better and develop. Alistair saying OG has been ducking trade questions. Yeah, it's not even that. It's like he'll answer them, but it's like it's stupid. It's just stupid. He wants to stay in Toronto. He's not unhappy here, but they're trying to say he is, but he's not. He was happy the other day. I saw him in an interview. He's smiling. He's like happy to be with the team. Like I said, he's still on the road trip with the team. He could have gone home. They could have said, you're not going to be able to play this whole trip. Why don't you go home? No, I want to hang out with Scottie. It's fun on the bus. It's fun on the plane. I want to hang out with these guys, go to team dinners. I don't want to miss anything. I don't want to have FOMO from leaving the team and going home and hanging out. That's why he cares. He wants to be there and be around everybody, continuing the goodness and the fun of the vibes of being on the road. So, yeah, it's interesting. That tells me more than anything he could say in an interview. The fact that he's still with the team on this trip, even though he's not going to play. Logical saying there's two ways to build at the moment, for now or for later. So if a trade is made, I would like to see players 20 million guy for the spicy in the team now and a future first for Scottie later is the perfect thing. You're not talking about trading spicy and Scottie, are you? That's crazy talk, Mike. I do not totally understand what your deals are there. So I'm just gonna keep going. Nako's saying, I'm sure the Raptors listen to any calls. Of course, they got to pick up the phone and say, "Oh yeah, hey Lakers, what do you have for us today?" No, we do not want Russell Westbrook. Please, don't call us. And just if you're gonna give us Russell every single time, we don't want him. Okay, we have nothing to talk about. Bam, click. It could be just like that. We don't want Russell. Gerald saying, I'm sure the Raptors listen to any calls. If Scottie was a superstar right now, I would care more about a good player. Right now, I care more about a good pick. Okay, cool. I like Gerald's answering the question from earlier on from Jimmy. And that's a good way of looking at it. I think Gerald's got sound logic with this. That Scottie's not ready yet. Maybe getting another pick is a good better than getting a good player that may be older right now. Okay. I'll put you down for that, Gerald. Tom Duke is here. West Coast is in the house. Good morning. Let's go. Who wouldn't duck trade questions? Yeah, they all do. None of them like talking about it. They want to tell them, "Oh, I love being the possibility of being traded and leaving my friends, going somewhere else." Oh, let's talk about it with a smile on our face, even though it breaks our heart. We're human beings, and it's an awful side of the business that nobody likes. Why would we talk about it enthusiastic with you, press, just because the fans are enthusiastic about ESPN trade machines? No, we are not. So there's no enthusiasm from the players about talking about trades. Aaron Rose, I hope you learned that this season. Let's see. Tom's also say, especially Mr. Go for walks and read books. OG ain't a liar, but out of anyone, OG would not let anything out for sure. Well, I don't even think there is anything. That's part of the problem here is that there's a void of information because OG's just not bringing it or has nothing. So they just make up shit for what he's saying and what would be saying. And that's the problem here is they're filling the void with bullshit. That's not even true. So yeah, I get it. Good morning, Fiercey. Good to see your name here in the chat. I hope you'll chat another comment. And Jimmy's saying it has to happen. I would love a good, promising player that coincides with Scottie's timeline, and a few picks would be nice. There you go, Jimmy. So he is preferring some picks and somebody that will go along with what Scottie's career timeline looks like. I like that, Jimmy. That makes sense. That makes sense. All right, let me get into the ref report for tonight. We have 3 referees for our game, of course. Usually that's the case. Our first referee is from Phoenix, Arizona. He is in his 26th season. He is Bill Kennedy. Bill Kennedy is one of our favorite long-standing refs. He's always been very kind and nice to the Raptors. His favorite musician is Luther Vandross. He would most like to visit Jerusalem. His bucket list is to see the Egyptian pyramids, and his hidden talent is karaoke. This guy's got a great voice, and you can tell he can sing those Luther Vandross songs very well at a karaoke night. His favorite meal is filet mignon with a good bottle of red, Tom Duke. So you get that ready. Bill Kennedy is, let me see, let me give you a little fun fact about him, maybe something I didn't talk about. Bill Kennedy considers his most memorable NBA assignment to be his first NBA Finals. Game 3 of the 2010 finals between the Boston Celtics and the Los Angeles Lakers. So he was working his first finals during that series of those Celtics and Lakers in 2010. Now, Bill, as I said, is one of our favorite refs long term. We win 56% of our games when he's refereeing. We lost the last game he refereed for us. And listen, it's not, he doesn't favor us over the Jazz. The Jazz have a better winning percentage under Bill Kennedy. They win 60% of the time. So the splits are 56% for the Raptors, 60% for the Jazz. Our old friend Bill actually likes the Jazz more than us. So yeah, there you go. Bill Kennedy, second ref, but he doesn't favor us for once. Usually he does for sure. The second ref is Aaron Smith. He's at his 8th year. He's from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. His favorite TV show is Homeland. His favorite movie is Shawshank Redemption. One of these guys. His favorite book is Unbroken. His favorite app is Twitter. He'd most like to visit Africa, and he'd like to travel to all 50 states. His favorite meal is any breakfast meal. This guy's any breakfast. So maybe we can get him a steak and eggs for breakfast. Since we already got one steak for Bill Kennedy, let's get him steak and eggs for breakfast. Before becoming a full-time official, Aaron Smith worked as a substitute teacher at a high school and middle school levels. He spent 3 years as a support staff for a cyber charter school also. So yeah, Aaron Smith, he's actually a great ref for us also, guys. His win percentage is the best out of the 3 referees. 60% winning percentage for the Raptors in his 8 years refereeing in this league. And meanwhile, we did win the last game that he refereed for us, Aaron Smith. But the Jazz have the exact same record as us under him. We're both 60% exactly under Aaron Smith. So it's a push. 60% win for Raptors, 60% win for Jazz. So yeah, it's not even. It's exactly even. So there you go. The third ref is Brandon Schwab. He's in his 3rd season as a ref. He's very young. He's from Orlando. His favorite TV show is Community. His favorite movie is The Matrix. His favorite book is Man Searching for Meaning. He would most like to visit Machu Picchu. His favorite app is Apple Podcasts. And his meal is kind of interesting. He wants Penang curry and mango with sticky rice. So, yeah, a little bit different. I mean, I guess we could get any old breakfast for Aaron, get that filet mignon for Bill Kennedy. And then this guy wants Penang curry with mango and sticky rice. There you go. Brandon Schwab is officiated 5 years in the NBA G League and 4 years on the collegiate level with stints in the Sunshine State Conference and Sun Conference. He is from Florida. So his first officiating experience came when he took part in an intramural sport as a student at the University of Central Florida. Wow, what a path. He just decided to be an intramurals referee in college, and he rose all the way right up into the NBA. That is a crazy ass path for sure. Now, Brandon Schwab is one of the worst refs for us historically. We have had a really bad record under him. We won the last game he refereed, so it rose because we haven't had him a whole lot, but we win 40% of our games when he plays, and that's not super good. He was one of the top 5 worst refs for us at the beginning of the season, but because we won the last game, he rose out of the bottom 5. Now the Jazz are winning 50% under him, so he is actually favoring the Jazz also. So there you go. We've got 3 refs. They're 2 are very friendly to us historically, but they're actually just as friendly or more friendly to the Jazz. And then Schwab is somebody who's not been friendly to us, and he is kind of with the Jazz, winning only 50% of the game. So there's your ref crew: Bill Kennedy, Aaron Smith, and Brandon Schwab. Bill Kennedy, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how he does us. Maybe he'll be very nice to us today on the road in Utah. It'll be fun. We'll have to see. Let's see what else is going on here. Fiercely saying, "Good morning, fam. So annoyed with all these trade rumors. Last month, the focus was on Fred and Gary. Now OG. Anyways, on to a win tonight against Utah. By the way, happy Scotty's going there. Happy Scotty's going there. Yeah, Scotty, I don't know where he's going to the Rising Stars. Yeah, I guess he is going there. It's funny because we're going to Utah. We're in Utah today, and this is actually where the All-Star game is. So these guys could come in and stop by and see Utah. As Chris Boucher put it recently on his Hustle Play podcast, he hates Utah. He will not be coming there other than today to play the game, and he will be leaving, and he won't be back for All-Star unless Pascal asks him to come and be there for him because he's an all-star. He'll do it then. But otherwise, he's going to be in an island nation somewhere getting the sunshine on a beach instead of being in Utah for the all-star weekend. That's what Chris said. He's like, you won't catch me there. Well, we'll catch you there today because you're playing them today. But that's it, Chris. Tom Duke's got the food out. He's got the wine for Bill and his steak, and then we got a steak and eggs for Aaron Smith. That's nice. We get him the classy breakfast, even though you could have just given him a variety pack of Kellogg's because he didn't specify. And then that looks like it's a weird dish you've got there for Brandon Schwab. It kind of looks like spaghetti with like white sauce on it or something. I don't know, Tom. I'll just take it as that's the curry, and that's good. All right, eat up and give us a hit job, please, good sirs. A hit job for us, not a hit job against us. Be careful what you wish for, Tom, and how you phrase it. Don't give us a hit job. We don't want a hit job. We want the hit job on them, and we benefit from it. Yeah. Logical Raptors fanatic saying, I'm saying we trade a starter for a 20 million guy for Spicy and the team now, and a first pick for Scottie later. So we take a more talented guy and shave some value into a pick and a player costing less money. Mike, you're saying get rid of Scottie and Pascal? That's crazy talk, man. And Tom Duke's head is exploding. You from trying to read that and understand that. Okay, you're saying for Spicy. That's Spicy. That means Pascal. You want to trade this guy for okay. And then you're saying a first round pick for Scottie later. What are you talking about, man? We don't want to trade Scottie for no first round pick. We don't want to trade Pascal. What is this, bro? All right. Anyway, we'll let Mike just blow people's heads up right now. All right. All right. I don't know. Jimmy's saying it is a good feeling knowing we have all the power this deadline, even if we don't make a big move. I still think we're way better team than our record indicates, but we are what we are at this point. Yeah, that's definitely true. I mean, what you're saying, we are a way better team than our record, but we also are what we are. And it's going to be really tough to pull out of this mud. It seems like these teams above us are getting further away, some of them, and some of them are just real close to us still. Maybe we can sneak into the play-in, but getting all the way to the playoffs, it may be tough. The more and more we slide and lose, because we're not getting closer to 500 right now, and we should be, and that's too bad. I don't like it. All right, let me see what else is going on out there. Apparently, the Utah Jazz, this is according to NBA Central, the Utah Jazz pays homeless people to pick up the trash after the game. There's a picture of homeless people in their arena cleaning it up after the game. Now, normally, they have staff that they pay, a cleaning company or people that actually work for the company, MLSD, come in and clean it all up after the game. Well, Utah's employing the homeless of Salt Lake City to come and do this for their arena. I guess I got to applaud them for that. You're giving people work and jobs and money to do something. So good job, Utah Jazz, letting the homeless clean your arena after games. That's a pretty good big deal thing, I think. Yeah, it's pretty good. Pretty good. Pretty good. Pretty good. All right, let me see. What am I doing next? Okay, let's just do the real mascot matchup. We're going to knock everything out in a row. I'm still really tired from this West Coast trip and staying up late. I'm used to staying up late right now, and I'm tired. I haven't got a whole lot of sleep, so I might as well do this. Real mascot matchup. Last time we saw the Raptor, he's on somebody else's property. That it was found that he was found on a property by a son of the property owner, and that he was guiding him to get off the property. So you can't be trespassing on my dad's property. So I got to tell you to leave, and I'm walking with you out of here. Well, the son was pretty fair and nice to the Raptor, but in near the end, it got a little ugly, right in there at the property line. And yeah, they got to the end of the driveway, and he's now back at the road because the kid did know where to go. But the kid's like, "What are you anyway? You're kind of gross and weird looking. Like you're not human, but you act like you're a human." And I don't even know what you are. I've never seen anything like you. In some ways, the son was being prejudiced and being kind of judgmental of the raptor, being a humanoid raptor that lives in the regular world and is kind of an abomination. Doesn't really fit. And the kid's like kind of being talking down to him. He's like, what is all this jazz you talking at me? This smack talk. You talking at me, youngster, the raptor saying to the son. And he's like, yeah, well, I helped you get off our property. Now just get it. Go on and get you weird ass lizard looking thing. He's like, whoa, 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 coming at me with all this jazz, this smack talk. Ooh, the raptor's like, he's ready to get in a fighting pose, and he wants to fight this kid because he's talking some smack. So he's talking some jazz. This is what he's talking. So he's like, what's going to happen? He's going to fight this kid on the side of the road real quick before he moves on his way. Will he beat the crap out of this kid? I mean, the kid isn't like anything super impressive as far as like super strong or big or anything. He's just an average guy. And the Raptor's just sick of it. He just doesn't want to hear him being nasty to him all of a sudden. It's like they had a pleasant walk, and the dude was like telling him about his property, and everything was fine. But now that he's kind of like getting rid of him, he's kind of like, yeah, let me talk some shit to you. So the Raptor wants to throw down. So who's going to win? They're going to have a little roadside fight. The Raptor versus the property owner's son. We'll find out next time in the real mascot matchup if he can take care of all that jazz. Yeah, come on over here, son. Are you giving me this jazz? I'm gonna give you some jazz with my hands. I got jazz hands. Yeah, woo! That was crazy. All right, let's keep going. Mike saying we trade a 20 million plus starter for a 20 million guy to help Spicy. Okay, all right. You're not saying trade Pascal. You're saying we trade one of our guys that are worth 20 million for another 20 million guy that fits and helps Spicy P better. Okay, that makes more. This is why this matters that you edit it. It makes sense. And then a first pick to help Scottie later. Okay, not for him, like trading him to get that pick. Oh man, I'm glad you elaborated, Mike. And now Tom can pick his brains up off the floor and put them back in because you blew up his head, exploded with that crazy, what it sounded like what you wrote before. Okay, all right. I get what you're saying here now. So we take a guy that will get more money and shave some money owned into a pick, costing less money. Okay, so it's cost saving too by just kind of switching our personnel, maybe a little bit like a Powell for Trent kind of deal in some ways. Okay, good stuff. All right, Mike. Thank you for clarifying and putting in the comment once again, just to make it clear to us, because I did not understand what you're trying to say. You're saying trade Spicy, trade Scottie? What? You're crazy. Monique saying, when is the last time you see DeMar get 8 turned, saw the highlights? I don't even know what DeMar did. What did DeMar do? I don't know. I did not pay attention to the Bulls last night, Monique. I really don't pay attention to the other teams in the league unless it's really of note and like really, really like something. I don't watch any of the highlights. If I don't have to watch the Raptors, I don't watch basketball for the night because I watch so much basketball between them and the 905. It's just I can't watch the other teams. I'm not a general NBA fan. I don't really get into watching other teams play. in some ways. Tom's saying, Mike, I do like that way better, buddy. See, Tom says your comments fixed now. That makes more sense. It's funny what happens when you actually put like the words in the right order so that it makes the point that you're wanting to make and not just some crazy talk. We're like, whoa, you training Scottie? You're crazy. Nobody's trading Scottie, man. We don't want to trade no Scottie Barnes. What are you saying, man? That's not logical. All right, let me see. What else should I talk about this morning in relation to things within the Raptors world right now? You know what? Let's just go over stuff and we'll get out of here. Blessings to our beloved Raptor freaks, most informative gang on this game day. Anticipating a good game from the boys. All right, Randolph Phillips, good to see you checking in this morning. I hope so. I mean, listen, they played well on this road trip. They really have. Being 2-2 is no slouch. In the two games they lost, they were very much in them and could have some couple of things could have gone in their way. They might have won those games too. So I like their chances tonight. Utah's 500 team. It seems like all these teams, like Sacramento. Well, Sacramento was better, but Golden State, Phoenix, now Utah, they're all hovering right around 500. They're kind of like not very super good, but they're not like horrible. And they're all 500 teams. So these are teams that are kind of near us in the record wise, and we need to beat them. And unfortunately, we couldn't do it against Golden State. And now they're launched up into the playoff picture for the West. They went from, since we played them, from being like one of the bottom play-in teams to having a full playoff spot at this point, the Golden State Warriors. And the Suns are right in there around there too and trying to do the same thing. I think they're actually in the play-in at this point, and Golden State is leapfrog them. Well, Utah's in the middle of that all mess also. And that's what I'm saying. These teams are very important for these teams in the West to win them because they're going back and forth and jumping all over the place with things on the Western Conference standings. Yeah, Utah is in the 9th spot in the play-in right now. Yeah. So yeah, they don't want to lose. They don't want to go because they lose today. They they don't totally fall out of the play-in, but they definitely go to the 10th spot and one more step to falling out of there. So yeah, there's a lot at stake here for both teams. All right, just real quick, a recap. Our injuries are OG Anunoby, which is too bad. He's staying on the trip and he's going to wear his little wrist thing, but he's not going to play. And at least he's around the team. That means he's happy. He wants to be around the team. Utah has one injury, and it's a center named Micah Potter. I don't think he's that important. So they're very, very healthy, and they should be ready for the game today. The ref crew for tonight: Bill Kennedy, the karaoke singer, Aaron Smith, and Brandon Schwab. That is our ref crew. They don't favor us overall. They do favor Utah statistically. So, yeah, there you go. That's basically the show today. I don't want to go on for too long. MSJ's here. Good to see MSJ. Seems if there is a trade, might be OG. Not that I want that, but maybe it's just that they have to trade out some overlap at the forward position. Yeah, that very well could be. It's really kind of like a glut of guys that are going to have to get paid all around the same time. And it's kind of like managing that situation. Well, do you trade one of them now to get assets that may need to be paid at an alternate time? Then everybody kind of needing to get paid soon with the guys that we have right now. So I'm interested. I'm interested to see this. I don't want OG to leave. In fact, I'm really on the same page as a lot of people. There's certain Raptors I'm okay with us trading, but OG's not one of them. I don't want an OG traded. I don't want Scottie traded. I don't want Pascal or Fred traded. Now, the other guys that I did mention, Precious is another one. I don't want him traded either. The other guys, they get traded. They get traded. That's just how it is. Monique saying he had 8 turnovers. Oh, that's what you meant when you said that. Okay, he had 8 turnovers last night. DeMar DeRozan. Wow. That's no good. That's no good, and that's a big reason why they lost the Clippers. That's a big reason why they lost the Clippers, and that's kind of a tough matchup for DeMar because it's him versus Kawhi, and they were a trade for each other, and there's probably some soreness in some ways whenever he has to face Kawhi, just because he was traded for him at some point. Yeah, DeMar only got 20 points, and Kawhi got 33 head-to-head. Clippers versus Bulls last night. Clippers winning by 5 in Chicago. Yeah, that's tough. I hate seeing that. Dragic's doing nothing off the bench. 0 for 1 in 6 minutes, a -12. Yeah, Dragic is dragging them down. Higher aspirations to drag the Bulls down with horrible play. Goran Dragic. There you go. I just want to get some shots in on him real quick. It's fun. Mike's saying it's like trade a guy worth 2 first for a player and a first, because players worth 2 firsts make over 20 million. I believe we could get a guy that's at 20 million and won't need more money later, plus a pick for later. Okay, so you think somebody who's ceiling of pay is going to be right around 20 million, not like these guys that we have. They're going to want to get between 20 and 30 million, which, yeah, a lot of these guys we're talking about right now, like Gary, OG, that's around where they want. Okay, I get what you're saying. I get your logic with that now. Race Mode saying, I don't think we're trading anyone significant before the deadline. This group needs time together. I hope you're right, Edmund. I really, really do hope you're right. And it seems like you might be right. Seriously, there's a lot of different like signals coming out of Raptors world. And it's weird because we don't really give signals that, like Monique posted the other day. Masai's happy with his core and he wants to see what they can do further. That he said that's a quote. Well, that may be good enough. That may be the most we need to know about what he's going to do, is that he wants to see this core continue to grow and develop together. And he's not looking to trade anybody unless it's something they just can't refuse. Jimmy's saying you got to read this new Ringer article on Scottie. I'm going to read it in a bit. It's a little long. Ringer. Okay, let me see. Scottie Barnes, Ringer. Na, 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 na. Okay, this article is called "Is Scottie Barnes Ready to Spread His Big Wings?" The Toronto Raptors hold all the cards heading into the NBA trade deadline. I like that statement. We hold all the cards. You do not get any other teams. Will they stand pat and keep adding to their collection of versatile forwards, or will they overhaul the roster and let Barnes lead them into their next era? Interesting. This is written by Sirat Sohi. Came out this morning at 7:45. So it's fresh. Just came out like a couple hours ago. Is this super, super long? I don't know. Let me see what the gist of it is. I'll speed read it a little bit. Okay, this is interesting. So he met with they met with Scottie on the West Coast. He was in California. He did take some time on this road trip away from the team to go film that commercial in Santa Barbara. So he was in California, and apparently he was FaceTiming his mom and telling his mom that these houses that are out there, they're so expensive and mansions, that he wants to get one of these houses for her, is what is saying here. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. This is a very long article, and I don't feel like I can get the whole gist of it because there's a lot here as far as things. Yeah, this is a long article. It's going to take a while to suss through it, but thanks for bringing it to my attention. That was Jimmy, right? Yeah, Jimmy. Yeah. Nameless saying, I just want you and all to know how ridiculous that guy who shall not be named is. He stated, Bam is better player than Pascal. Laugh out loud. Just be aware of that kind of garbage that's out there. It's funny. Scottie posted something on his Instagram last night about his new Bitcoin Bitbuy commercial. And that dude was on the comments, like totally like kissing his ass. Oh my gosh, I couldn't believe like how much he's trying to ingratiate himself with him. That he shall not be named would love to be who I was last summer. And it's too bad he didn't get in there because it seems like he just is so like enamored with Scottie. Maybe it's better that he didn't. But listen, I was on Twitch with him last year and I really did get to know Scottie. And he who shall not be named can't say that he knows Scottie or that guy knows him. Like if you went to Scottie and say, hey, you know the Raptors freak? He said, yeah, I do, because he was in my Twitch all the time. And we talked, and he was always there. And he even came and met me at the Subway pop-up. Well, Pensair, if you went up to him and they said, hey, do you know who Pensair is? He's like, no, I don't know who that is. But Scottie would know who the Raptors freak is. So, yeah, there you go, Pensair. I exist in his world, and you don't. Boom, winning. Yeah. All right, let me keep going here. Let's just see. Yeah, that's a ridiculous take. Bam is better than Pascal. Why is he even saying that? Are you a Raptors fan? What is that? What is that take? Bam and him are very different players, and they have different skill sets. I don't even know why he's making the comparison. There's usually other players that he's getting compared to, and yeah, I guess Bam is one of them that they kind of always say, who's better, Pascal or Bam? And that dude is taking that side. That's hilarious. Okay, Duke Rock's saying just trust in Bobby and Masai to get the ship pointed at the right direction. No point speculating on trades. Whatever will be, will be. I love it, Duke. That's right. Fans, give it up to them to do it. The front office, trust in Messiah and Bobby. Just give it up to, you say give it up to God. Well, they're not God. They're the head of the Raptors, but give it up to them and trust that their process is very smart and that they're going to do the best thing possible for the franchise. Forgetful saying, I watched a great horned owl grab Bugs Bunny yesterday. This morning, a fresh Kruger tracks on my place hunting Bambi and Omen. This is so cool. In fact, I want to know where Forgetful lives because he lives in a world of a farm. He lives on a farm. He said that. I know that. And he does sorcery on this farm. Well, now he's like taking walks and he's seeing like an owl grab the bunny from the ground. It's like he lives in Wild America, Wild Kingdom, not Wild America, Wild Canada. And it's like Wild Kingdom with Marlon Perkins from like back in the day on Sunday nights. You watch that little nature show and he'd come out and he'd be like, hi, welcome to Mutual of Omaha's Wild Kingdom. And we're going to go look at some lions eating something or something, Yeah, that's cool. Okay, so you see nature the way it is, the stark harshness of the reality of nature and life or death. And now we're wondering about how this is going to affect the game tonight. Fresh Kruger tracks on his place hunting Bambi. Ooh, an Omen. Yeah, I don't know. What is the animal that is a Jazz? Now, we are hunting it. Raptors are hunting the Jazz today, and we're going to beat them today. I love it, and we better. MSJ saying, I really don't want OG to go. Would be a sad day to let such a defensive machine to leave. And Goran, I can't stand him. I mean, seriously, he has so much value in just keeping him around that I think you just get more value than trading him. We trade him, we're not going to get as much for him than be happy. We just won't. There's no one single player that we could trade him straight up, and I'll be like happy in the reverse of getting him. I don't think so. I don't think there's anybody. I think we should just keep him and continue to have him. And I think that a lot of Raptor fans feel this way. I hope they're listening, but it's not that they're going to base it on us anyway. I'm a fun guy saying I want guards, people that can penetrate and shoot. Any additional quality guards will help a ton. Good guards will only further help Vision 6'9". Malachi's not cutting it off the bench. I'm not against this. I want more scorers. I want guys who could shoot. And yeah, we need people that have a real nose to get the ball through the hoop. And that they just do it automatically. It's just like it's their second nature. It's like they live. We breathe without consciously knowing we're breathing. Well, I want people that score baskets like unconsciously, like they breathe. You know what I mean? Fiercely saying, I see Quentin Grimes will also be part of the Rising Stars. I keep thinking about the "you is not him" incident. Oh, he's there too. Well, I guess he's a little bit of a him since he's getting to go to the Rising Stars. I didn't realize he was on that list. He's not somebody I would think of as a rising star in this league. I know Knick fans are probably pissed off at me for saying that. I don't know who he is. He's a nobody. Who the hell is he? Quentin Grimes. Oh, he's not him. I know that. You is not him. All right, there's a bunny, and there's a hawk getting a bunny, and there's a tiger with the deer, and there's the Raptor fighting the Jazz. I love it. There you go, Tom Duke. That's the card for today, main event. Name was saying, I told him if the Raptors were ever dumb enough and offered Siakam for Bam, his luggage and his goldfish would be on the first thing smoking. Yeah, listen, that's crazy. No, they're not going to do that. I don't like that deal. Bam's interesting, but he's not a true center. And in some ways, he hurts the Miami Heat because of that. Because they're trying to play him at center. It's crazy. So I'm saying pure evil. So glad I just block and press thumbs down to fuck nuts. And Shane Waters is here. Yes, Tom, and nameless. Bam, bam, bam. West Coast is in the house strong with Shane Waters here and Tom Duke. I appreciate you, Shane, with your comment yesterday. Very cool comment. Good to see you chime in after the stream. Mike's saying he's a draft guy, so he puts heavy weight on pre-NBA judging and locks in opinions way too early and then dies on the hill no matter what and does anything to say I was right about him. Shaking my head. This is the why I don't even get involved in this kind of stuff. For me, I don't care about the NCAA. I don't watch March Madness. I don't know anything about any of these guys coming up right now. I don't give a shit about them. Till they get the NBA and I see them in some sort of way, then I'll start to learn about them. That's why I don't start saying, oh, I want Jalen Suggs a month before the draft. That's why I don't get hung up on who the Raptors draft because I don't care. I'm going to trust in Bobby and Masai blind, and I'll just say, okay, this is the dude they're bringing in, Scottie Barnes. Let me go look at them. I'll go look at them now because I don't want to do the research for every single player in the NCAA and then get my hopes up. Ooh, I really like this one guy out of a couple hundred guys that are all eligible to get drafted. And oh, if the Raptors don't get him, I'll be so upset. That's so stupid. There's so many different players out there, and we don't know. And the fans wanted Jalen Suggs over Scottie Barnes at that time, and they were dumb. So that's why it's like, go ahead. I'm the opposite of him in this way. Is I don't care about college. I don't want to learn about any of these guys until they're on our team, and then I'll learn about them. Ooh, Christian Coloco. Yeah, I want to learn about him. I did learn about him a little bit more before we drafted him, and then was on my short list of guys we should draft. But that's the most I'll do. I'm not looking at March Madness. It's going to be March soon. They're going to be playing the big tournament. I don't give a shit. I'm not even going to fill out a bracket. I don't watch any of that. And maybe in some ways it's like, okay, you're not very much an expert on college basketball. Well, that's the damn truth. I'm not. I really am not. But that's funny. That's funny. And that, a lot of people do this. They got like one guy that they really, really like Greg from Jubstown Clink. He has certain guys that come up in the draft. He's like, oh, this guy's going to be so good. And he kind of gets invested in them a little bit. And I just don't want to even do that. What's the use of it? What's the anticipation and wanting? Oh, who cares? You don't know. Bobby knows better. He's going to pick the right person and they'll come in. And Scottie Barnes, Christian Coloco, hey, Scoot Henderson, all right. MSJ saying the article is good overview. Thanks, Jimmy. I think the Raptors will give Scottie the keys in time. Maybe they speed up the process this trade deadline. Oh, watch the Marlon Perkins SCTV skit. That's awesome. Yes, an SCTV reference from MSJ. I love it. Yeah, you remember Marlon Perkins. Yeah, that's hilarious. I'm going to have to maybe go look that up for nostalgia now that you mentioned that sketch. This is true. And I'll read this article that Jimmy's brought up, the one that I read the beginning of earlier. That is true. Like in some ways, like maybe now they want to speed up and get closer to like the reality with Scottie being the center of focus around our team. Sure. But how does that work with the parts that have been around already and where their importance is with all that too? That's the thing that we got to balance and figure out. And I'll have to read that article since you've already read it this morning, MSJ. That's good. Race Mode saying that channel is all anti-Raptors. It needs to go away. I mean, listen, it's even like, it's titled as a sports channel. It's not a Raptors channel. And that's not put out as saying, oh, I'm pro Raptors. He's not even like, he may say he's a Raptors fan, but it's not that he's like portraying himself as being pro Raptors or too much more Raptors. In some ways, these guys do these channels and they don't want to show a favoritism. So they'll be negative about a team to a degree. That's their way of counterbalancing actually being a secret homer. It's like, oh, I'm going to talk really bad about my favorite team on my content so that everybody thinks that I'm kind of like fair and balanced on things. So I'll sewer them instead. Yeah, it's crazy. Let's see. Tom saying, just don't get it, Edmund. In real life, I definitely wouldn't stand for it. Yeah, you guys, we just pick what we put our attention on, and that's what it is. I'm gonna try and finish up in like this hour. Let's see. Oh, there are a few more though. Name is saying that's exactly what I thought, Tom. This guy is evil. Funny you say that. He reminds me of such a villain, like the Penguin for Batman or something. That's hilarious. Jimmy saying Bones Highland is apparently disgruntled. Don't know too much about him though. I know he's pretty good though. Is he on Denver? That's like a good player for Denver. I don't understand that. Denver's a good team. He doesn't like playing with Jokic. He is very good. And if we got him in a Raptors jersey, I wouldn't be upset. He's quite young and he's got some good defense and he's a good scorer. So that's very interesting information, Jimmy, about Bones. Duke saying, speaking of guards, quickly of the Knicks, I feel has maxi potential in my opinion. I think he's a good fit with the Raptors. See if Bobby can fleece him for Flynn. I thought you could do that straight up, that switch with New York. I would do that in a heartbeat. Oh my gosh, I would do that in a heartbeat. Quickly is a very good guard, and you're right. The comparison of him to Maxi isn't that far off. He's not as good as Maxi. He's not going to get that level, but there's a lot of the same traits and characteristics the strengths that these guys have as far as being quick and bringing pace, being quickly. Ah, all right, let's see. Fun guy saying keeping up with the NBA is already an investment for me. Laughing my ass off. I could never also fully follow college ball. A waste of time. There's just so many teams, so many games, so many players. And for me, I really like to know as much as I can about the whole entire league. And there's so many conferences, and there's just so much. If I had one alma mater like FSU and I really followed them closely and just like paid attention to the Atlantic Coast Conference, maybe, but I'm not doing that because I know that there's so many conferences and so many players out there. It's just like, what's the point? It's a huge workload. So I'll just leave that to people who love doing that kind of stuff and piggyback off their material and maybe see what they're saying and give them the credit. But then, I don't really care. Like I said, I'm going to see who they draft. And as soon as they call their name and they got a hat on that's a Raptors hat, then I'll go look at them and really get interested in looking them up and talking about them. Kareem's here. Good to see Kareem Thomas going to go out on a limb here and say Raptors stay put during the trade deadline. Perhaps lots of sign and trades in the offseason and possible pickups in free agency. Fuck the Jazz, the polygamy state. That may be one of the cool things about Utah is their polygamy. That's kind of cool. It kind of goes against their uptight religious extremism of Mormonism and stuff like that. That they have polygamy. It's funny that you're mad at that. Kareem, man, don't be hating on Big Love. Big Love. You guys remember that show? That show was great. Yeah, you know what? I like this strategy in some ways. And more of you guys are saying, I don't think we're going to do anything. And I think you might be right. I hope we're right. Honestly, I kind of don't want them to do anything. And in some ways, if we treat this summer kind of like the Kyle Lowry summer, who's signing trades, we can actually direct things in a really smart way and also help out guys like Gary Trent Jr. to get more money and maybe have a little bit of choice in what they're going to do with their future as far as things like what we did with Kyle when we organized that trade with Miami. So that there could be some similar stuff going on with that we make some agreements with people like Gary Trent Jr. About his contract coming up and saying, you know what, we're not in our future, but we're going to sign you to a new contract and trade you. It's because we want assets from this team and work it that way. In some ways, I don't want to trade Gary still, but if anybody's going to get traded, he's the one I want to get traded. Is out of all the guys in the core, I don't want any of these other guys traded. Let's see. Forgetful saying near Tweed. He's in Tweed. Oh, wow. Okay. Midway between Toronto and Ottawa. Okay, that's where the Farm of Sorcery is. I'm going to call it the Farm of Sorcery. That's pretty cool. Let's see. Nameless saying it's all fun and games about the polygamy until you find out they're all your siblings. I got a third wife yesterday, Jim. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You got a new third wife? Yeah, Sandra. She's really cute. She really knows how to cook some beef stroganoff. Oh, really? Sandra, she's kind of related to your cousin. What? What do you mean? Well, they're sisters. Did you know that? What? What? You mean I married my cousin again? Ah, damn, Utah and your stupid polygamy. Wah, 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 wah. Hilarious. Tom Duke saying nameless. What did you do? And Tom Duke is crying, laughing. Okay, good stuff. All right, we're just over an hour. Let's finish it up. Thank you for watching me, the Raptors Freak, every morning, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Tomorrow we will be reacting to the Utah Jazz game tonight. Hopefully it'll be a big W for the Toronto Raptors. You want to get these keys of victory, win the rebounding battle, win the turnovers battle. These are two very important battles, and also win the three-pointer battle. You win those battles, Raptors, you'll win today. So get more rebounds than maybe possibly a taller Utah team. Let's make them turn the ball over as much as possible. Mike Conley likes to handle that ball really smart when he has it, but maybe we can get them to turn the ball over in different places otherwise. Yeah. And really, seriously, bench guys, Chris Boucher, you're the leader of the bench. You guys need to come out and make some production because Utah's bench will be making production tonight. As for usual, we're on the West Coast. We don't need to be playing a West Coast style. Let's play an Eastern style, and let's keep that score low with defensive stuff. The more lower the score is, the more likely we are to win. And if they get to going and they get hot and they can start scoring 30 plus quarters, well, we're going to lose. That's just the damn truth of it. So Raptors, keep their score down and keep this a low scoring game. You have the better chance to win that way. So grind it with them. Grind, 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 grind. That's right. MSJ saying he is argumentative. Had my take shot down by him. Said Fred VanVleet needed to aim at 8 assists a game. He said that was impossible. Being argumentative, you have to go it alone. He seems to enjoy that path. Listen, this is the thing. Like, my motto with how I handle this channel is like, I'll hear everybody's opinion. I don't have to agree with everyone. And in fact, I'm very comfortable with saying, yeah, I don't agree with that, and then moving on. And I don't have to denigrate anybody about that. I just say, look, we have a difference of opinion on this, and that's fine. This is the mature adult way to deal with disagreements and not seeing the same way. Well, some people just want to be completely the way they look at it and beat other people over the head and say, you have to look at it the way that I look at it. And that sounds like he's a little bit like that. Anyway, once again, we're talking maybe a little bit too much about who shall not be named, even though he's silly and he is kind of fun to talk about as a villain. Yeah. Mike's saying draft speculation and trade speculation are the most wasteful thoughts in a sense. I think this is true. People don't have a clue about the truth of the players behind the scenes, and the things that really matter aren't shown. There's a lot of bias, and some of it is they just want favoritism or thinking of this. Oh, I really love this player, and they just want to be right. Now, what I would be interested in content wise from somebody who really does pay attention to the college is really somebody who could figure out chances and percentages of actual possibility that we might get people. Like, how we have like a percentage for getting a certain draft pick in the lottery right now, chance. I want to see the percentage chance on players that we might draft players. And it may be very small. It may be like a 1.0 or something, because they're all collectively in that 100% who we're going to draft. But that would be telling me more something if like there was a percentage of chance that somebody might get drafted by us. That might be a more interesting stat to me. Blackhawk, you're welcome. Thank you for being here. David's got the champion cup out there. It's that Vince Carter bobblehead that he's going to get at the end of the season. Peace out. Go Raps. Thank you, Jimmy. Monique saying W stream. Lex, keep at it. Thank you, Monique. You keep feeding my fire to keep coming here with your patronage and your great comments. I appreciate you, Monique. Fun Guy saying, don't think OG is actually going anywhere. I love that sentiment, Fun Guy, and I think you're right. And Race Mode saying, let's go Freaks. Have a great day. We're winning tonight. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. Like a Cajun would say it. I guarantee. I guarantee it. That was a commercial. He's like, I think it was a chip commercial or something like that. He's like, these are good. I guarantee it. I forget that Cajun guy that was in the commercials that used to say, I guarantee. Yeah, that's good stuff, Edmund. That's good callback. It's something that I love back in the day. All right, y'all. Let's go Raptors. Beat the Jazz tonight. I said it. Beat them in the rebounds. Beat them in the turnovers. Beat them in the three-point line. Beat them overall. Shoot better. Get more shots attempts. And hopefully we can beat them. That is one of the ways they're kind of beating other teams is by getting more field goal attempts, by manufacturing more off of offensive rebounds and some turnovers here and there too. So they do steal a little bit, like literally like we do. They steal. And we got to watch out for that with the Jazz. And that may be one of the battles that may be the most important. Who's going to manufacture the most field goal attempts in this game tonight? Who's going to get the most chances to shoot the ball through the basket? And hopefully it'll be the Raptors. We're usually pretty good in that category against the other team. All right, y'all. Have a great Wednesday. Let's beat the Jazz tonight. And hopefully we'll be talking about a good victory tomorrow. I appreciate every single one of y'all. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share. And that will be worked on over time, MSJ. Don't worry. At some point, that will happen. We'll have some sort of super chats, hopefully at some point. But I'm no hurry. It is what it is. It's going to take some time, and it'll be fine. But I appreciate that. Y'all have a great day, and I'll see y'all tomorrow. Let's go Raptors!